All right, so yeah, we're ready for a little Super Bowl preview.
Ooh.
This is exciting.
This will be awesome.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm currently eating a chocolate chip ice cream sandwich, so if you hear a lot of crunching in the background, you'll know why.
Oh, okay.
It's going to look great on camera.
So great.
Kyle, that sounds just like you, man. That sounds just like you, and it's perfect.
Yeah, and it's going to look great on camera, too. Just Kyle just sitting here eating
fantastic.
a sandwich.
JP Lex is going to love us.
Yeah, giving JP Lex some free publicity with their ice cream sandwiches.
There you go. You should go into JP Lex and see if they'll sponsor you. Sponsored by JP Lex. See if they have ice cream, folks.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. Kyle, how are you tonight? Yeah, you're in pretty good shape because you're literally eating an ice cream sandwich right now as we're filming. So
nothing wrong with that.
And
actually, everything right with that.
So tonight, obviously, if you've been living under a rock or under a tree or whatever you want to call it, you may not know this, but the Super Bowl is coming up this coming Sunday, and our beloved New England Patriots are back in the Super Bowl for the third year in a row. That's right. They're going to be facing the LA Rams on Sunday in Atlanta, Georgia, which I guarantee is a lot warmer than it is right here right now. And so we sort of thought, who that we know would make a great Super Bowl preview special guest. And so we thought about it long and hard, maybe a grand total of like 2 minutes. And we decided on somebody that you all know, that I hope you all love. Our pal Doug is back joining us via the magic of cell phone. Doug, welcome to the On a Couch Talking Sports Super Bowl preview, and welcome back to the show, man. Good to have you.
Hey, thank you so much, guys, for having me back. And it's pretty Arctic out there, so it's nice to be in a warm, room anyway, and to be with you guys.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you, and obviously a very exciting episode. Like I said, Super Bowl 53 this coming Sunday. So what I wanted to, the question I want to start off asking is just overall sort of thoughts when you think about this matchup against the Patriots, against the LA Rams, the two number 2 seeds in the respective conferences, both won on the road in their respective conference championship game. So just sort of overall thoughts when you think about this matchup coming up just under 3 days from now. And Doug, I'll start with you on this one.
My overall thoughts is that I'm just kind of where my thoughts. My initial thought was that oh my God, we won again, and I'm just glad to kind of be back in the game. That's kind of my first overall thought. My second overall thought about the matchup, and we'll probably go into that a little bit more later, is that it's going to be a pretty good matchup. The LA Rams being a pretty solid team, and I guess the Patriots kind of coming in the back door a little bit, but anytime that you have Brady and Belichick, and I'll say it over and over again until I'm blue in the face, anytime you have those two, you always have a championship combination.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, this is the 9th time that Brady and Belichick have been in a Super Bowl as the coach-quarterback tandem of the New England Patriots, which Kyle is just...
I'm seeing crumbs right now.
I know, seriously. You're like dropping everything here. But kind of like it is very impressive. And when you think about it, I mean, 5-3 so far in Super Bowls. These two. I mean, just what are your thoughts about this matchup when you really think about it? Because it's kind of funny that the first Super Bowl matchup that Brady and Belichick appeared in together was against the Rams, but the St. Louis Rams at that time, as they completed sort of a Cinderella season in Brady's first year at QB to beat the greatest show on turf, the Rams, to win the Super Bowl. So what are your sort of thoughts when you think about the matchup this time around?
Well, I didn't really know the Rams when they were you said the St. Louis Rams? Like, I didn't really know them quite as well. I wasn't really watching a lot of football at that time, I think. But I remember watching at least more. I mean, I really only watched the Patriots, obviously, and when I was younger. And I feel like after all this time, it's really interesting to see how much they grew over the years. Like, I remember the Bledsoe years actually kind of well. And just how they went from that to like where they are now. It's just really, it's been really impressive. I don't think I've if you ask like 10-year-old me or 11, whenever they went to the Super Bowl first, I wouldn't have expected that they would ever have a legacy like this, at that time. But they've really went a long way, and yeah, I'm very impressed once again. Like, I mean, that they made it to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, and it is, Doug, it is kind of fitting, like I was just saying. I mean, you sort of talk about coming full circle. I mean, like I said, the Patriots' first Super Bowl victory for Brady and Belichick and their first Super Bowl victory as a franchise, I should say, was against the St. Louis Rams. And now, here we are, 17 years later with the same two teams meeting up in what, could very well be, we don't know, obviously, but could very well be Brady and Belichick's last Super Bowl victory, and you just never know. So just talk about, Doug, just your thoughts on just sort of the whole idea of it, the fact that it's sort of come full circle here with them going up against the Rams once again, 17 years and a city, in the Rams' case, removed.
Yeah, it's kind of very strange because I remember that game very, very clearly. And we were over a friend's house, and they actually kind of came in the back door that year too, which was very interesting. Kind of how it came about again 17 years later. They were that particular obviously wasn't the LA Rams at the time, but that particular Rams team was an exceptional team. They were really, really great that year. They were expected to go pretty far. The Patriots were pretty good, but that was a very, very young Tom Brady at that time. So that was one of those things where you didn't really expect too much, but it was a really terrific surprise. And then, of course, the ending of the game, the way they won the game with a Vinatieri kick for a field goal, which was just tremendous. And just everybody went nuts because they were like, wait a minute, we were supposed to win this game.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting, Robbie, because it has gone that way sometimes for the Patriots. They're like this year, for instance, is a perfect example of the fact that again, they came in the back door. They could have beat Florida. They could have beat Miami. To get more of a seed to be able to have
home field,
more of a push in the right direction. And they just didn't do that this year. So it's just, and that's why I say when you have a Brady Belichick combination, you can never put them, especially Brady, who's actually playing. You can never put him out of any game. So and just I think if you saw the end of the AFC Championship game, Brady was even kind of surprised. Did you see his face? He was even surprised. He was like, "Oh my God, we just won this game."
Yeah.
So I think it's just really interesting how it comes full circle. But I remember that game very well. It was actually a very, very good game.
No, definitely was, and obviously the Patriots have changed a lot. Both teams have changed a lot in those 17 years, but obviously the consistent has been Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And I kind of want to bring up this next question, speaking of Brady, to both of you, because there's been a lot of talk. Obviously, everybody kind of felt like after Brady won his 5th Super Bowl 2 years ago, like that kind of cemented his legacy as the greatest quarterback of all time, you know, sort of end the debate. But then after last year's loss, I feel like the debate has maybe been a little bit reinvigorated, sort of the people who maybe aren't as convinced, so to speak. So I guess the question I want to ask both of you, and Kyle, I'll start with you.
Okay.
This is, do you feel like Brady needs to win this Super Bowl to cement his legacy as the greatest quarterback of all time, or do you think that legacy is already cemented at this point?
Well, here's the thing. Yes, it would be very nice for them to win the Super Bowl, but no, I don't think he needs to win it in order to prove that. I think he still is the greatest quarterback. Like, I think, or at least among the greatest quarterback. Like, I don't think another Super Bowl win is going to make a difference either way. I think he's still going to be great no matter what. So,
Doug, what do you?
Will make a difference. Sorry, I want to backtrack.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it will make a difference if he does win this one, but at the same time, if he doesn't, I don't think that's going to. You know,
right. No, I got. Doug, what do you think? Does this must win in terms of legacy, or is that legacy sort of already cemented there?
Interestingly enough, I kind of agree with Kyle up to a point statistically, but I do agree with Kyle with the fact that if he doesn't win this, I mean, it's if you look at the history of the NFL, history of professional football, it is very, very, very difficult to repeat and go back to the Super Bowl. It's only happened a few times in its history. So it's very, very difficult to do that. That's the first thing. The second thing is that, do I think it cements his legacy? I think it does statistically. Because if you're looking at it, and I guess that's how you look at it in some ways when you're looking at the Hall of Fame or, something like that. You look at, how many wins he has, how many yards he passed, how many, you look at statistics, you look at how many Super Bowls they won, how many FC championships. Basically it's really Super Bowls. But do I think if they lose this game, do I think Brady's not a Hall of Famer? No, absolutely not. He's definitely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of, let's see, he's gonna. Who else out there? What other quarterback out there has won 4 Super Bowls?
Yeah,
right. Except for Montana.
So you kind of look at it that way in a little bit, but statistically, I just think that it definitely will cement him statistically as one of the best. And Bill Belichick just said in a conference call just recently, and I think it was within the last week, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday of this past week, somebody asked him a question, of course this is during Super Bowl week, somebody asked him a question about who he would choose as his quarterback out of every single quarterback that's in the league, Joe Montana and Terry Bradshaw and all these Hall of Famers, all these really terrific quarterbacks that win the Super Bowls and stuff like that. He said he would pick Tom Brady. So, and again, it's just one man's opinion, but what I'm saying is I think statistically, I think it'll cement him statistically in a position where he is one of the best. Do I think if he loses, it's not, he's got, people are going to say, oh, he sucks? No, absolutely not. But I do agree with Kyle in that.
Yeah, and here's my thing is, like, when I look at the 3 Super Bowl losses, like, I mean, football is obviously a team game. You know,
Mm-hmm.
one player does not win or lose a football game.
Yeah.
And when I look at the 3 Super Bowl losses, you know, as much as obviously the offense could have, you know, probably done some things differently throughout the game to help. I mean, especially looking at last year's, I mean, Brady did basically all that he could do for the most part, in my opinion, to win them that game last year. I mean, he gave them the lead twice in the fourth quarter, and the defense just could not go out and get a stop to save their life. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but it was just like the 3 Super Bowl losses, people have to remember that the Patriots were leading or took leads in the fourth quarter of all of those games, and the defense basically let them down. So I think in that regard, you look at it, and you look at sort of Brady statistically, as you guys were talking about, and so, I mean, obviously, listen, I hope he wins on Sunday, and this is a non-issue, you know, a moot point. But, like, even if he loses, I mean, I just think if you look at his overall sort of level of play, I just think, I mean, you have a very viable argument, win or lose, that he is, like I said, the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, and there have been a lot of great ones. There's no question about Montana, Aikman, Bradshaw, all those guys. But I just think when you look at the body of work, I think, you know, Brady's right up there, if not on top. And, you know, it's interesting because obviously Brady has said that, you know, there's a 0% chance he's going to retire after this season. Now, obviously, you know, obviously, you know, things can change or whatever. So, you know, you never know until it's next year.
Yeah.
But and then there's also been a lot of talk about Rob Gronkowski and whether or not this will be his last game as a member of the Patriots. Whether or not this will be his last game. He's sort of contemplating retirement. So I want to ask both of you to put on your prediction caps or prognosticator caps, whatever you want to call it, and try as best you can to predict, will both Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski be members of the Patriots come next season? And if they're both not going to be, will one of them retire or will both of them retire? Doug, I sort of want to go to you first for your thoughts on this.
Sure. I kind of have Rob Gronkowski was speaking to the media yesterday, and he had some very interesting thoughts about the way this past season has gone, how it's affected him mentally because of the hits that he's had, guys going for his ankles, guys going for his head, guys going for his chest. You know, just the difficulty in that he's had this year. My prediction, pretty much right away, is that I believe Tom Brady will still be with the Patriots. He still has. He has said there's zero chance of him retiring. I think he has a goal of being 45 years old. Win or not win, I think that's his goal. Obviously, his goal is to win every year and go to the Super Bowl every year, which, you know, he seems to be doing without issue. I am going to say that you may not see Rob Gronkowski next year. It is very, very possible. It is more possible that Rob Gronkowski retires than Tom Brady does. So that's my prediction, is that there is a very distinct possibility that because of this past season and because of the fact that he has even mentioned the fact that it has been a very tough season for him physically and mentally, because he says the physical stuff hurts him mentally too. Because it's tough. It's tough when you're hurting out there and they expect you to go and practice and be at full strength and you're at full strength. No, not really. my spleen is up near my throat. So it's one of those things where, I just think that now, do I believe that Rob Gronkowski will retire after this year? I'm not really sure, but I think that Gronkowski has a better chance of retiring than Tom Brady does. I still think Tom Brady will probably retire at 45, and that's what his goal was. That's what he said he wanted to do. But I think Rob Gronkowski has a better chance. That's my answer on that.
Kyle, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much the same as I pretty much agree with everything you said, Doug. I'd say maybe like there's a chance each of them could retire. But yeah, I guess it's funny when I hadn't actually heard about Rob Gronkowski thinking about retiring until you brought it up, Robbie. Actually, so that was news to me. I knew I heard like kind of back and forth about Tom Brady. He was always thinking, oh, maybe next year, maybe not, this and that. With him, I can see him. Yeah, I agree with you, Doug. I can see him definitely going a bit longer too. Especially if if you're saying he set that goal in his mind. Okay, 45. We're going for this. Yeah. So, and this guy's. I mean, Tom Brady's a machine, and he's like he's one of the oldest probably he's like the oldest quarterback right now in the NFL, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that he's playing like this that's incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, in his case, I can.
Whatever
see.
he's doing has worked.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's amazing that he has lasted this long with the amount of
Hashtag TB12.
Yeah, the TB12 method. Hey, listen. I mean, it's been working for him. I mean, there's no question about that. Avocado ice cream and concussion water is really doing tricks. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's true. But when you start look at this game, look at the game coming up on Sunday. The Patriots are favored in this game. I believe it's by 3 points, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
Doug, is that?
I actually heard 2 today, but that's okay.
So between. I mean, I didn't check today.
2 and 3, I think.
Yeah, but I guess my question is, when you look at that line, and Kyle, I'll start with you on this. Okay. Do you think that line, sort of Patriots by 2 to 3, is sort of right about where it should be? Do you think that it's a little bit too low? Do you think it should be...
No, hold on. 2 to 3, like you mean
points.
Like points. So they're going to...
They're basically saying that the Patriots are going to win by like a field goal. Do you think that that's too much or right, sort of right where it should be? What are your thoughts on that line, looking at this game?
That's a tough one because as, seeing the last Super Bowls that they won... if they do pull through, I feel like it's going to be a close game because the Rams are a really good team. I feel like they're definitely gonna give a pretty good fight. I think that's a possibility, but it's tough. It's really tough. I can see them. Yeah, no, because they played it pretty close those last few Super Bowls that they won, so I could see it either way.
Doug, what about you? When you sort of look at this game and the line, is it sort of where you expect it to be, or what are your thoughts on that?
I guess I expect it to be where it is right now. I think it's going to change a little bit. It could change a little bit toward the, it's just about toward the end of the week anyway, but it could change in the next couple days. But that kind of makes sense with the fact that, again, just like Kyle said, that the Rams are a pretty good team. They are a young team, but they're a pretty good team. There have been different people from different other radio stations that have said that certain radio stations that we won't mention that have brought up some interesting thoughts on that too, which is things like it's going to be a blowout because the Patriots going to win by a blowout because of the fact that the Rams are a young team and they're up and coming and all this kind of stuff. So I just think right now I think it's not a bad line because right now I think people are thinking that the Patriots just have that a little bit of an edge with the Tom Brady thing, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And I just think that I think the line is fine the way it is right now. I don't agree with it necessarily. I think it probably should be a little bit higher. But just the experience and again, I think the Patriots have something to prove too, because everybody kind of would like, oh yeah, they stink this year. They're not going to get in. They're not going to get in the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. So I think they got something to prove. And again, when you got Brady and Belichick, you're just it's hard not to root. It's hard to root against them, in that way. But I think the line is pretty good where it is, at least for now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think if anything, it should maybe be a little bit higher, like Doug said, and as Tom Brady put, everybody says that we suck, and they're still here. They are going for a third straight Super Bowl, so it works out. So a couple more things as we sort of wrap up here again with this On a Couch Super Bowl preview. I sort of wanted all three of us to sort of pick one player for the Patriots who we're sort of looking at as like a key player to watch in this game. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that this could go, but I kind of want us to, pick just one player, sort of that we're looking for, maybe a little bit above the others. That could be kind of like a key player for the Patriots in Super Bowl 53. And Doug, I'll start with you on this one.
That's a great question, Robbie. I have so many of them. No.
It's hard to choose.
I was my first thought when you said that, I had a first thought, and then I had, oh yeah, wait a minute, how about him? My first thought was Sony Michel. That was my first thought, and the reason I picked Sony Michel as my first thought is because if the running game is there, if we can run against the Rams, they're going to have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
This is also a chance for Sony Michel to pick it up and really show that he is a playoff kind of. This is a big game for him. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
To put it more simply, it's a big game for him. My second thought was Julian Edelman, and the reason I had a second thought with him was because he's really Brady's go-to guy.
Right.
He absolutely gets open, and it's almost like I shouldn't pick him because it's like when you think about it, you're always thinking about Edelman anyway. Always thinking about Julian Edelman, and just the way he plays is just. Just look at the last game. I mean, the catches that he makes, the plays that he makes, the fact that he gets open all the time, it's just amazing. But I still think that Sony Michel is going to be, in my opinion, going to be a key factor.
All right, that's a very good pick. Kyle, what about you? Who are you sort of looking for as a sort of a key player to watch?
Well, from what I've noticed, at least, I would have to say, it's a tough one because I'm kind of on the similar line as Doug, where I got two players in mind. Basically, so one of them actually, ironically, is Edelman. I agree with basically all you said, Doug, but with Edelman, with the chemistry between Brady, I think he's a very key player. But also, I think that another player that's actually he's had some pretty good moments throughout the season was it James White? I think?
I was really thinking of him. Oh, that's hysterical. Yeah,
I've just noticed from so football is one of the few sports I actually kind of watch on a daily basis.
Yeah, because you play fantasy football.
Yeah, so our daily basis, I should say, a weekend basis, I guess you can call it. But so I've just seen a lot of potential from him this season. So I guess I have to go with So I'll let you take it away. There anything,
No, like I said, I'm gonna go with James White as well because I just feel like White is so dynamic in the fact that like he's a threat out of the backfield and catching the ball as well. And I think against this Rams defense that could be a big factor in this game, but also just looking at his track record, like especially in Super Bowls. You look 2 years ago, the Super Bowl against Atlanta. He was sort of like the key factor in that comeback and helping them win the game. So I just feel like he really seems to step up and shine when the stage is the biggest. And so I'm hoping that he can do that again, sort of give Brady another weapon along with Edelman and Gronk and Hogan and all those other guys on the outside, but also give the running game another boost, to go along with Michelle and Burkhead and those guys. I think he could just be in both aspects of the offense. I feel like he has the ability to make a big contribution. So that's what I'm looking for out of him, and that's why, like I said, to agree with Kyle, that's why I want him as my key player. So the last question that I'm going to ask, and you kind of had to know we would do this, being that the Super Bowl preview is, it's time to give our official Super Bowl 53 predictions. Who do we think is going to win? It'll be very interesting to see if one of these guys actually goes and picks the Rams. I think our viewers may run us out of the state. Yeah. But
they're gonna say shun the non-believer. Shun.
But Kyle, I'll start with you. What is your official Super Bowl 53 prediction? If you can, give a final score if you can.
I'm gonna say the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh God.
Sorry, I had to do that.
I'm sorry, Doug. I tried.
Oh God. Oh. Kyle, you're killing me, man.
Yes, evil strikes again.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, that is actually correct. The Montreal Canadiens are pure evil. That is correct.
I agree. I agree completely. I had to know you were gonna drop that in there at some point.
Robbie, there's a hockey game in front of us, so I'm gonna have to drop.
Yeah, we are watching the Bruins Flyers right now, so it's
yes. I've been going back and forth with that too. My wife is watching it in the other room, so we know. Yeah.
Nice. So I would have to say, the Patriots are definitely. I personally think are gonna beat the Rams. As good as the Rams are, they got Todd Gurley, who's such an amazing player. I had him on my fantasy team, so I would know a thing or two about Gurley. Maybe like a thing, just literally one thing about him. But so no, he as good as their offense is there. Yeah, I think the Patriots. I think they're gonna pull through. So
yeah. Got a score prediction?
Oh, score. Yeah. I forgot about that. I'm gonna say. I'm going to say the Patriots are going to beat them by a touchdown. I want to say maybe 21... I'll say 21-28.
Do the math, Kyle. Do the math.
21-28. Sorry.
So 28-21 Patriots.
Yeah.
So that's a touchdown. Not a touchdown and a field goal.
No, the touchdown because it's 6 points plus 7.
What are you talking about?
No, sorry, hold on. Right, 6 points plus 1 makes 7, so
yeah, so
20, 21, so that's a touchdown and field goal.
That's extra point.
Oh, extra point.
Oh, God.
Okay, it's my terminology. I'm really bad with football terminology.
Oh, boy.
That's why I get being away for 4 years, so it's okay.
That was classic Kyle right there. Okay.
Yep.
Doug, if you could pick
Kyle, I think that ice cream has gone to your brain, man.
Yeah, got a little bit
or the tea that he's been drinking.
Yeah, it's actually spiked.
Yeah,
it's spiked. No one knows about that.
Doug, if you could pick yourself up off the floor after that whole answer, what is your official Super Bowl 53 prediction?
My official prediction is, let me see, the Patriots will win. That's definitely going to happen. I think it's going to be, I'm going to be a touchdown and a field goal. I'm going to say
an actual field goal, right?
An actual field goal, yeah. That would be the 7 points plus the 3 points equals 10 points. That would be 31-21. I'll leave that 10 points there. Good. Okay, we're good.
No, but Doug, I thought a field goal was 6 points.
All right.
So yeah, that would be my prediction. I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be that close. But yeah, that's what I think. 31-21. Patriots.
Okay.
Win their fourth Super Bowl.
Win their sixth Super Bowl?
Yeah, that
too. I I have to agree with these guys. I think the Patriots are going to win. My score all along has been 31-24. Nice. Patriots. I think it's going to be a touchdown game. I think the Patriots just have too much talent at the end of the day and just make one more play than the Rams to get it done, get Brady his sixth, and we can celebrate again. And it's interesting because if the Patriots win, this will be the second pro sports championship that's been in a row that's been decided, at least that a Boston team has won, because obviously you had the Red Sox winning the World Series, and now hopefully the Patriots winning the Super Bowl. So the reign of the City of Champions will hopefully continue this coming Sunday, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. So, Doug, thank you as always for joining us and previewing this game. It was a lot of fun. Enjoy the game, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
That sounds great, Robbie and Kyle. Thank you so much for having me on. I love On the Couch talking sports, and of course, Robbie and I have to get together for our next episode of the Sports Blitz.
That's right. Yeah. Little plug.
But thank you very much for having me on, guys.
No problem, and we will. Again, always great having you on, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, so that's our buddy Doug. Again, really appreciate having him on. So now we're going to sort of wrap up our episode with our final thoughts / monologues, as we like to call them. I'm going to go first here, if you don't mind, and just keep mine very short, sweet, to the point. Say, go Pats. Can't wait for Sunday to hopefully see the Patriots come home with their sixth Lombardi trophy, and to Brady to just further cement his legacy as the greatest quarterback of all time. Get it done, Pats. Give it everything you got. Can't wait. Nice. Kyle, you got anything for us?
Same here. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Go Pats. Win the Super Bowl. Boom. There you go.
Very nice. All right. So that's going to do it for this edition of On the Couch Talking Sports. Again, I want to thank our pal Doug for coming on with us. For Kyle, I'm Robbie, signing off from the couch. We will see you next time on On the Couch Talking Sports. Bye, everybody. All right. There you go.